Tracy, Host Member of Parliament Dwayne Smith, MPs Juliet Holness, Delroy Chuck, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, Senators Cavan, Galen, Marlon Morgan, Live Wire, Venetia Phillips and others, Jamaica Labour Party active and strong in St. Andrew Northwestern. Constituency meeting this Sunday, Sherlock Crescent Community Centre, 5 p.m. We choose Jamaica. See you there.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Please be advised that on Sunday, July 27, the Mayor's Parlour will air at 12 p.m. This will temporarily replace the usual broadcast of Amazing Word at that time. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause, and thank you for your understanding.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the news for this Saturday, July 26, 2025, JCF warns public to beware of a video circulating on social media that falsely appears to show prominent Jamaican businessman Adam Stewart endorsing an investment fund. Infrastructural development is the number one issue facing constituencies across the island, according to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Opposition spokesman on transport Michael Phillips is blasting the government for what he says is its failure to allow foreign ride-sharing companies to continue operating unregulated in Jamaica. On the international scene, Israel to open Gaza humanitarian corridors as aid drops begin. And in sport, England unsure if Stokes will bowl on fifth day in test match against India. The details after this.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, is warning the public to beware of a video currently circulating on social media and messaging platforms that falsely appears to show prominent Jamaican businessman Adam Stewart endorsing an investment fund. According to the police, investigations have confirmed that the video is a deep fake fabricated using artificial intelligence AI and created without Mr. Stewart's knowledge, consent or involvement. The video promotes a fraudulent investment scheme. The police say the fund being advertised does not exist and any claims suggesting otherwise are entirely false. The JCF says it takes the matter seriously as the use of AI to impersonate individuals is a growing global threat, one that undermines public trust and creates new risks to financial security. Meanwhile, the police are further warning the public that if they have already interacted with the scam, they should not send any further money or personal information, gather any proof of communication or transactions such as send screenshots, emails or receipts, and immediately report the matter to the JCF's Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch CTOC Cybercrimes Division. Persons may contact CTOC at 876-906-5848-52. The police are urging all members of the public to exercise extreme caution when engaging with online investment offers, particularly those involving unsolicited messages or celebrity endorsements. Infrastructural development. That's the number one issue facing constituencies across Jamaica, according to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. He was speaking Friday at the opening of a KFC restaurant in Black River, St. Elizabeth. Mr. Holness said the findings were based on polls conducted by the JLP.
We have done our polls, and the number one issue across every constituency that we have polled, road and water. You have other issues, crime, unemployment, there are issues to do with youth involvement. The number one issue for most, it's infrastructure.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister asserted that the economy was not properly managed in the past to address infrastructural development. He said borrowing to deal with infrastructural challenges came at a huge cost.
But generally, if you build a road, the maximum you will get out of it, if you don't maintain it, is about 15 years. So, one, for Jamaica, we don't have enough revenues. Second, because everybody wants the road now and they want the water now, previous governments who did not run the economy well were forced to borrow. If you borrow, you have to pay it back and you have to pay interest. So once you start to pay back the loan and you start to pay back interest, it means you have even less of your own revenues the next time around to invest in roads.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Opposition spokesman on transport Michael Phillips is blasting the government for what he says is its failure to allow foreign ride-sharing companies to continue operating unregulated in Jamaica. He levied the criticism while addressing a virtual meeting put on by the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, TODS, on Wednesday.
I am a firm believer that no company, be it foreign or local, especially foreign, should be able to operate in our space without operating within the ambit of the Jamaica's law. None. This long conversation that is being had with them without coming to where any regulations have been yet tabled or in Parliament is unacceptable.
The government was forced to implement a temporary ban on some ride-sharing applications in June last year. These included Uber, InDrive and Lyft. The ban followed the murder of Daniel Anglin, a teacher who went missing after reportedly taking an InDrive taxi to work. At that time, the government said it was working on establishing a regulatory framework to accommodate the foreign services. To date, the policy has not been tabled. A 20-year-old UTech student, Anissa Dilworth, has since suffered a similar fate as Anglin. She too was murdered after reportedly taking an InDrive taxi in May this year. The ride-sharing company distanced itself in both cases. Mr. Phillips says the PNP administration will correct what the government has failed to do.
Definitely it is something that we will be acting on very swiftly in dealing with it. We're not fighting against competition. What we are opposing is for persons operating at a different level outside of the law within a country that has laws. And then you have the poor little youths them who operate the robots them in communities that don't have no roots, and every day they are being harassed by the Transport Authority and locked up. It has to be a level playing field, and if they're going to operate in Jamaica, they have to operate within the ambit of our law.
Michael Phillips, opposition spokesman on transport. Opposition spokesperson on education Senator Damon Crawford believes the rural school bus program will cost the JLP the next general election. Speaking to members of the media at a policy breakfast at the Fromage Bistro in St. Andrew on Thursday, Senator Crawford says the program has a number of major flaws. He points to what he says are discrepancies with the routes and cost to procure the buses.
If the JLP waits until school starts, I'm sure they will lose it, because everybody will realize that this is madness. And why it is that we know? Because they can't tell us the rules. Tell us the rules so we can analyze the effectiveness. We can see how much children will not benefit. To this point, we have only heard there's 100 rules, but why are rules not identified? So that we can see, oh, this place don't get nothing. The vast majority, up to 80%, will not benefit because of the number of buses. If PNP should get that best case, we'd have used the same 1.4 billion and bought 26 Toyota Coasters instead of 15-year-old imported buses that you buy for 300 million and retrofit for 1.1 billion.
Many stakeholders in education have hailed the rural school bus program for keeping students in a safe transportation environment away from potential predators. Senator Crawford notes the PNP's proposed RIDE program will also include vetting the private transport operators to ensure the safety of the children.
If the People's National Party suggests that we'll engage private sector operators, which is not only tax, and multiple rural communities already engage private sector operators. I can tell you that Monroe High School engage private sector operators. I can tell you Hampton, Brownstown High School engage private sector operators. Wouldn't that private sector operator have to be audited, vetted, approved? So yes, a system that totally separates children from adults is the best system that we can have. But that system would need 30 times the buses that they have bought.
Senator Damon Crawford, opposition spokesperson on education. The official Jamaica 63 logo will be unveiled later today during the results show for the Jamaica Festival Song Competition at Emancipation Park in Kingston. Culture Minister Olivia Grange says it will mark the official start of the activities celebrating emancipation and independence. She says the logo, along with the anniversary slogan, "Be Proud, Be Bold" in black, green and gold, will be unveiled via a drone display between 10:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. Minister Grange is encouraging Jamaicans to turn out in large numbers for the celebrations and to embrace the Jamaica 63 theme by incorporating the national colours wherever possible. The festival song competition results show on Saturday is free to the public and will be broadcast live on Television Jamaica as well as the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission JCDC's social media pages. It is a production of the Cultural Development Commission under the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. The police have charged a second brother for the 2021 death of 41-year-old Mason Charles Mortel at his home in Hellshire, Portmore in St. Catherine. Charged is 32-year-old Chef Shawane Grant of Tulip Avenue in Hellshire. His younger brother, 30-year-old Mason Marlon Wilson of the same address, was charged last year. The Portmore police report that about 7 p.m. on Sunday, January 10, 2021, Grant and Wilson, along with their accomplices, armed with knives, machetes and pieces of board, went to Mr. Mortel's home. They attacked Mr. Mortel, leaving him unconscious with several wounds over his body. When he regained consciousness, Mr. Mortel alerted his neighbors, who took him to the hospital. He succumbed to his injuries 2 months later on March 26. Following an investigation into Mortel's death, Grant was taken into custody during an operation on Monday, July 21. He was charged with murder, burglary, and conspiracy to commit murder following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says to maintain a clean environment, it will require an effort from all stakeholders in society. He was responding to his opposition counterpart Natalie Nita Garvey, who says the responsibility for garbage collection should be returned to the municipal corporations. Minister McKenzie notes that it is the former PNP government that set up the National Solid Waste Management Authority (NSWMA) to ensure proper garbage collection across the country.
It was their administration that legitimized the National Solid Waste Authority by setting it up as a regulatory body to administer over the operations of garbage collection. There is nothing wrong with the work that is being done by the National Solid Waste Management Authority. What they fail to recognize and to understand is that there is room for participation of not just the solid waste, but for the wider Jamaican to participate and to ensure that we are to containerize our garbage and then to dispose of it in a correct way.
Minister McKenzie adds that the PNP failed to equip the NSWMA to effectively carry out its mandate.
To come now to talk about garbage collection and to give back, they did nothing to strengthen the National Solid Waste Management Authority to make it into an effective organization, so they can't talk and criticize and speak about solid waste, because what they used to do was to spend more money putting out fires of solid waste than collecting garbage, right? And we have provided more trucks, more resources. There's still a lot more to be done, and at this time now to trying to score a few political points is not going to work.
Desmond McKenzie, Minister of Local Government. To news now on the international scene, Israel has said it is prepared to open humanitarian corridors to allow UN convoys into Gaza following weeks of international pressure and a growing hunger crisis. In a statement on Saturday, the Israeli Defense Forces IDF said it had allowed airdrops of humanitarian aid to resume, the first of which consisted of 7 pallets of flour, sugar and canned food provided by international organizations. The announcement came amid calls for Israel to let more aid into Gaza and amid warnings of mass starvation following months of limited supply of the territory's 2 million people. Israel denied what it called the false claim of deliberate starvation in the Gaza Strip. And now to sport. England will wait and see whether Captain Ben Stokes is fit enough to bowl when they push for victory over India on the final day of the 4th test at Old Trafford, says assistant coach Marcus Trescothick. After taking 5 wickets in the first innings, Stokes did not bowl as India dug in to reach 174 for 2 at the end of day 4, still 137 runs behind. And now for a recap of the top stories making the nationwide news at 5. JCF warns public to beware of a video circulating on social media that falsely appears to show prominent Jamaican businessman Adam Stewart endorsing an investment fund. Infrastructure development is the #1 issue facing constituencies across Jamaica, according to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Opposition spokesman on transport Michael Phillips is blasting the government for what he says is its failure to allow foreign ride-sharing companies to continue operating unregulated in Jamaica. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. Use is next at 5 tomorrow afternoon.
Outperform, outlast, guilty.